Hello, welcome to our lecture series. My name is Sheyi Fabi. We want to continue on our lecture series on working with images. Today, we want to look at image interpretation and image analysis. Uh, we work with a lot of images in GIS, and these images come in different shapes, different resolutions, uh, and we need to really extract information from the images before we can use it to solve problems in our activities. So today we want to look at different types of image interpretations and image analysis. We will not be able to go into details because we will continue in our subsequent lecture series to look at different types of image interpretations, different procedures, techniques to interpret images, to extract information from images, and to convert images to map, line maps, polygon, and point data. We have basically two types of image interpretation techniques. When we talk about image interpretation, we mean the procedure to extract information or to make meaning out of images. Images come with different tone, different digital numbers, pixels values, but we must be able to make a categorical statement. We'll be able to extract information that is relevant to our activities. So we have two types: visual image interpretation, or what we call analog image interpretation. Analog or visual interpretation is when we visually observe the images and see what we can extract, the information we can extract from the images. Actually, every day we engage, every woman that has eye has is engaged in visual image interpretation, because when you see a scene, either physically or on the television or anything, you quickly make information, you categorize the information you get there. You categorize, you group them together. Humans, the background, buildings, vegetation, water, the road layers. So you observe a scene, you immediately categorize the image into different categories, different structure. Either you structuralize it or you look at the tone and you differentiate it. So the second one is machine or digital image interpretation. When you machine assisted image interpretation, that is when we automate our process of interpretation in such a way that it can be repeated. The process can be repeated. We can categorize places as vegetation, river, and buildings. Or you categorize a football field as uh, hard landscape, soft landscape, or maybe a stadium. You can categorize into hard landscape, soft landscape. These are categories of image interpretation. Today, we just want to look at visual image interpretation. Visual image interpretation actually involve the use of human eye to estimate, to categorize, to derive information the from the images. So that's what we are going to look at briefly. The elements that we consider in visual image interpretation, when you use your eye to really look at what you can derive, the information you can extract from it, from the scene or from the images that you have, is we call it elements of image interpretation. Elements of image interpretation. And this, since the time of the aerial photography, when we use the crude and the conventional method to extract information, these elements have been very, very valid. We have some primary elements, in which case we look at the tone, the color of the images. That tone represents deep materials like river, while light tone represent objects like rocks, other things like that, depending on their reactions, the reaction of the structure of the element to the electromagnetic spectrum, electromagnetic radiation. Because once electromagnetic energy strike the object, and then it is reflected back to the sensor that is capturing it. We It depends on the structure, on the texture, on the characteristics of the surface that will determine the amount of energy that is returned to the sensor, and this was captured. Therefore, that is why rocky area will appear with lighter tone, while dark area like river will appear a darker tone. So, and we can also use color to differentiate in case of color multispectral images, that is image that has more than, we have many colors. That's these color images as opposed to the black and white images. So we can use color to differentiate. We can use different color to differentiate the images. Then we can also use stereoscopic parallax, which we are using parallax error to look at the displacement, the height, the elevation of trees, of hills, of mountains, structures. We can use this one to actually differentiate between the tall buildings and the one-story building from the two-story building or three-story buildings, and so on and so forth. So that these are the primary elements of image interpretations. Then we have the special arrangement of the images. Special arrangement represents the size, the shape, the texture, the pattern. The shape, the size means you can look at the size to estimate what is happening. For instance, you will see in a typical image, a symmetry may appear like a settlement. But when you look at the sizes of those that look like buildings, and actually they are settlement, They may represent settlement where they are building an estate. But when you look at the sizes of those vis-a-vis the surrounding, you know that okay, this one cannot be buildings. It can either be something else. So we can use sizes to estimate or to differentiate objects in the image. Another thing is shape. We can actually differentiate between pond, fish pond, and a natural lake. We can differentiate between swimming pool and a natural lake by the shape. The two of them will have water, will be water body, but you can differentiate them because of their shape. Regular shape represent man-made objects. Irregular shape represent natural objects. So you can know that lakes are irregular shapes, but swimming pool, fish pond will definitely be regular shape. So you can look at the shape. Then the texture can also show us the kind of object that is there. From the surface, we are looking at whether it is high resolution images or you are looking at a low resolution images, the shape will show us what the kind of thing it is. And the texture also will show us whether it is high tone object or low tone object. If it's a dark tone object, we know that that texture is either to be a deep, for instance, a deep water or deep vegetation will appear low tone, but a rocky surface or a tarred surface will appear lighter tone because of the texture. And then the pattern will also show us what are the kind of thing object we have. For instance, you see farmlands as opposed to you see a farmland as opposed to vegetation. For instance, you look at the pattern of the cultivated area, you know that because of this pattern represent the cultivated area as opposed to bush fallow. The two vegetation may be almost the same, but when you look at the pattern or arrangement, you know that this is farmland, this is bush fallow, this is abandoned farmland because of the way the pattern it shows. So also we can look at the analysis of the primary elements such as the height or the shadow or analytical e-shading. You can look at the height, you can use the height to know that these are trees, these are shrubs based on the height. And you can use the height when you look at the, especially when you get your image from the oblique angle, then you can actually estimate the height of the object, and this height of the object can help us to know to differentiate between story building, high-rise building and low-rise building. And you can also use this shadow. For instance, there are so many articles that have used the shadow length of object to estimate the height of buildings. When you look at the shadow length and use the angle of elevation and the angle of depression to estimate the length of the shadow, you can use it to estimate the height of the building once you know the angle of depression. The sun angle will represent the angle of depression. We also have the context analysis, such as site and association. When you see something that looks like a pool of water in the desert, you know that it's unlikely to be there. When you see when you see something that looks like water in Borno or in Sokoto, and then you may want to query it again that this surrounding does not look like water body, or you see vegetation along you see only vegetation in a curvy like linear manner, then you know that water may be there. Water is likely to be there because these are riparian vegetation, and riparian vegetation are associated with water. When you see riparian vegetation, you assume that most likely water will be there. Sometimes you are interpreting your images and the river disappear, and river disappear and it surface somewhere here, there, somewhere outside your area, and you know that most likely you cannot have hanging river there. You cannot have hanging river because it's only in the limestone area that you can have hanging river. So in that case, you may look at the site and association that it's possible that the tree canopy has covered the river channel, and you can begin to interpret your image. So we are going to, before we end this session of the um, visual interpretation of the images, we are going to look at the some of the images, and we can see how we can visually peruse those images, and can see this is the image of the western part of Nigeria and western part of Africa, West Africa. This is part of Nigeria. This is Lagos, and this Akosombo Dam in Accra. So it covers a lot and lot of the different part of Nigeria. So a different part of West Africa, and this Nigeria, and we can look at this image, this part of with visual interpretation. We know that this is a game reserve. How do we know it's a game reserve? We know it's a game reserve because the vegetation here is different. or it is a protected area. We can see the boundary of this area compare to the boundary of the other, the boundary of this area. The vegetation here is quite different from this. So we use site and association to know that this is likely to be protected area, or we use pattern, the pattern of the area here. Now we look at this look like a dam, because the dam, when we are looking at the site and association, we can see the spillway, can see the embankment of the dam. So we know that this is not just a pool of water, it is actually a dam. It is a dam because of the spillway. This is what makes us to look at this. This is what makes us to know that it is a dam and not just a pond or a natural lake. It is actually a man-made lake. So you can also look at, let's look at other things in the area, within, look at the river channel, this Kanji Dam. And when we look at this Kanji Dam, this Jeba, this Kanji Dam is up there, and the Jeba Dam is down here. And you can actually see the 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 embankment. Look at the embankment. These are things that we use to identify between rivers, between lakes, and other things. And these are elements of visual interpretation. Then we look at this river channel. We can check this one. This is an island within the river channel, because this is a vegetation, and we have some things that show us that we can actually interpret visually or extract information visually from the images. So we look at this. This is another element of visual interpretation. We look at this, though it does not appear like we cannot use color to identify this. This one look like a riparian vegetation. Though we did not see any river, but it is a sign that a river channel passed through this. And the canopy of the riparian vegetation is very, very high. That is why uh, we see extended green on this channel. So look at this again. You see extended greenish substance on this channel. So we use this to identify the kind of images and the kind of information you can extract. Another thing we can see here is the farmlands. You can see the farmland, different smallholder agriculture that we have here, and you can see the boundary of each farms. So you use this one also to check the sizes of this. That makes us to know that it's a smallholder agriculture. We can differentiate it from commercial farmland because of their sizes. Their sizes are so small. That makes us to know that they are smallholder agriculture, and it's smallholder agriculture. Then we look at settlement. Look at settlement. Settlement is another thing that we can easily identify based on the image, understanding of the image analysis. Let's look at this. We have different type of images. This I'm looking at Landsat 7 data, which was actually images of which has been mosaic together, have been combined together, and this Ibadan city. You can see this a dam also. This has a direct dam, and this is settlement, because looking at the tone found here is different from the vegetation we have in this area. This one represents vegetation, this one represents communities or settlement, because of the tone that is quite different. So you can use tone to identify this is a very deep water body, and that is why it is different from the surrounding area. So we have different elements to interpret the images. This is a medium resolution image. Landsat is medium resolution. It's not very low resolution, but it's medium. But it's not as high as QuickBoard or Iconos. This is an example of QuickBoard where we're going to leave this image and let's go to QuickBoard image that is 1 meter resolution. This pan sharpened Iconos image that is 1 meter resolution. So you can see that this one also we also need to use the element of image interpretation. For instance, this represents uncompleted building because we look at the structure of this one show roof, this one show that this building is uncompleted, still under construction. So we have you can look at the color, this is a red roof, this is a different roof. So we have white roof and things and so on and so forth. So you can also use you can zoom in and zoom out and use this to interpret your images. And then when we will also go to images, a more higher resolution images. We are going to look at autophotos. Autophoto that's 20 centimeter resolution, 20 centimeter resolution. Iconos is 1 meter resolution, which is 100 centimeter, 100 centimeters. So, but autophoto is actually 20 centimeter resolution. So we look at this, look at this. So you can see that it's higher, yet we can also use visual interpretation to interpret what you find there. Now we can differentiate between rows and cars, within trucks. And we have the trucks which are big ones. These are trucks. These are small cars. On the same image, we have the color of the roof. We can differentiate the color of the roof. We can differentiate between the road and the vegetation. We can also differentiate between different structures using our human eye or visual approach to estimate, to extract information, to categorize the entire image into different forms. So if you want to really extract this data and convert it to map, we have to do what we call manual data capture, manual data extraction. That means we have to digitize all these structures, all these images one by one, and then we extract our image. Most of the time, though it is very laborious and is subject to different type of human error, but the error level of visual interpretation is far less than machine approach because it depends on your algorithm, how strong your algorithm is to really interpret the images, because there are so many things that you cannot capture, machine learning cannot really implement. For instance, the shape. The machine may not be able to differentiate between, unless the algorithm is very refined, may not be able to differentiate between a lake and a fish pond, between the runway between the runway of the airport and the normal highway. So most times, even after we have done our machine learning, we may still need to use visual interpretation to resolve some gray areas. For instance, there was an analysis I did recently, and I discovered that there was a very tiny difference between abandoned farmlands and savanna. So we have to go to some area of unresolved area. We have to go and do site inspection and identify what's really there, and we use that one to refine our algorithm. So I believe we have been able to kickstart this new lecture series on image interpretation. Next lecture, we are going to look at machine learning, machine approach, machine-based approach to image